Let's pick up on that conversation, Zach, because I know you've been watching the Bitcoin moves very closely. I mean, this is sort of the typical swings that we've seen in the cryptocurrency space, right? We're talking about $60,000 potentially over the weekend. And then here we are talking about coming under that $50,000 mark. I do think it's interesting. We were speaking to Dan Ives about this earlier, about the context with which we're discussing this now in terms of the swings. Elon Musk's comments, potentially part of the moves. And then now you're seeing Tesla on the back end of that, seeing a big swing in their stock because of the significant position they've taken in Bitcoin.
Yeah, and that's going to happen when you have close to 10% of your cash and cash equivalents tied up in Bitcoin. So that's not completely unexpected. What might be unexpected is maybe connecting the dots and saying that, sure, Elon Musk's tweet here might be the main driver just because, it's not as if it's the same thing as him calling his own stock too expensive, which of course we saw happen in May of 2020. And now we're seeing his tweet here saying that Bitcoin might be too high. But people are pointing out, when he did say Tesla stock may be too pricey back in May, the stock fell by about 10% that day. But over the course of the next year, it's up more than 400%. So not necessarily the best at maybe timing some of these things. So maybe people putting too much weight into an Elon Musk tweet. Of course, we've talked about Bitcoin running hot. These pullbacks aren't necessarily out of the ordinary. So I would just stress that, it might be leaning too much. We might be leaning too much into maybe Elon controlling the movements here. This is kind of natural. We'll see where it goes. But at 52, still not necessarily crazy, just basically giving back some of that rally over the weekend. But I don't know. The rest of the sphere trading around this too. Binance Coin, we highlighted that on Friday, giving back a lot of the gains. The DeFi tokens giving back a lot of the gains. Perhaps necessary a necessary correction here at Aikiko, shall we call it that?
Yeah, and I thought it was also interesting. We got those comments from JP Morgan talking about the limited liquidity that's in the market. And as a result of that, with Bitcoin, even the smallest flows, at least according to the strategist there, can have a significant impact. And that's something, of course, to keep in mind for Bitcoin, because it's not an infinite amount that we're talking about.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing that we stressed over the weekend in my conversations is we're still waiting to hear kind of the update. We'll see what Gary Gensler, incoming head of the SEC, has to say about some of these things, because you're still locked out as Americans from some of the more interesting crypto projects, China being a lot more friendly. I know you've been focusing in on some updates out of China as well. That's the best transition I can make here, Akiko.